After dealing away Pascal Siakam today, it looked like the Toronto Raptors made a serious decision, especially considering the team doesn't have their draft pick unless it lands in the bottom six. When you look at the sort of construction on this roster right now, it is extremely young. There's a lot of inexperience on this roster, and there's not a lot of front court depth. The imbalance in this roster has a lot of Raptors fans, myself included, looking like at Masai Ujiri and saying, hey, are you trying to tank this season? I like that we're building out young pieces. I like that we have a multitude of draft picks over the coming years that sets us up for the future. But are we thrown away this year in a chase to land that draft pick? Well, that's yet to be seen. That can't be confirmed either way. But after a game like tonight against the Miami Heat, a very strong team in the Eastern Conference that love to take advantage of teams that are trying to lose, actively trying to, in positions where an emotional day has gone on. Pascal Siakam, the lifeblood of this sort of team, or at least a guy that's been there since the championship season, the vet, the last sort of guy in the locker room that seemed to have a good relationship with most of the players. I mean, him getting taken out, we saw what happened the last time the Raptors played on the day of a trade. They lost the Detroit Pistons. But tonight, things are different. This is day one of the Scottie Barnes era. We have RJ Barrett emerging as a potential star in the NBA. And now the star boy Gary Trent Jr., who's kind of taken a complete back seat this entire season, got the start in tonight's performance and went 8 of 9 from the three-point line. Gary in this game for the Toronto Raptors, 28 points, 8 of 9 from 3, 10 of 13 from the field. Just absolutely ridiculous numbers popping off against this Heat team. I mean, things were going crazy. Emmanuel Quickley was running the show really well for this team. And then on top of it all, Scottie Barnes, who again didn't stand out. He's been struggling a little bit since the Emmanuel Quickley, OG Anunoby deal ended up happening. But tonight, again, nothing too crazy the first 3 quarters. But to close out this game against a Miami Heat team that's not going to give up at any point, especially when they sort of smell a bit of, opportunity to take advantage of a Toronto Raptors team that should be a little bit emotionally out of it, following these trade acquisitions. I mean, the Toronto Raptors, led by Scottie Barnes down the stretch, handled this game despite the fact they were small, despite the fact that they didn't really have any forwards. I mean, tonight in terms of our front court rotation, we're running Jonte Porter, who, again, has been serviceable, but is not an NBA starting center right now at this point in his career. Thaddeus Young has been really good for this team. I mean, 5 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, holding it down on the defensive end. Chris Boucher has been solid. I mean, he had 7 boards in this one. You'd like to see a few more buckets from Chris, but a depleted team, no additions of Bruce Brown or Wara or any of these guys into the lineups just yet, and they're able to come out and they looked motivated. They heard everyone talking about, hey, the Toronto Raptors are tanking, there's no Pascal Siakam, what is this roster going to actually do? And they were fired up, and frankly, I love it. I don't want to see this team tank. I think it's going to be difficult for us to even get into the bottom 5, bottom 6. And then you also have the potential of where you tank, you throw away a season, you defeat morale. And then, you know what, you don't even get your pick because, a random team ahead of you in the lottery or behind you in the lottery odds jumps, Raptors fall out of the top 6 and we lose our draft pick. I feel like if we can win, I like that we built for the future. I like that we stockpiled some assets. I'm really amped up about this Toronto Raptors team going forward. But if we can do this without a harsh rebuild, without a sort of just ugly sort of next couple of seasons for this Toronto Raptors group, I am all about it. And performances like this, again, are we going to get 8 of 9 shooting from the three-point line from Gary Trent Jr. probably ever again this season? Probably not. But if we get a Gary Trent Jr. that's looking confident, that's able to knock down shots, able to, just be a serviceable wing player for this team, that is going to be massive for this group. We have Scottie Barnes closing games, looking confident, taking over down the stretch. There's our star. There's our new number 1 guy right there. And then, again, RJ Barrett. He had that one game that was a bit ugly, for sure, against the Utah Jazz. But with exception of that, he is looking like a rising star in the NBA. Tonight, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 9 of 14 from the field, knocked down a 3, not getting to the free throw line. Again, it feels like maybe since Kawhi, since DeMar, we haven't really had a star that really gets to the line at will. And RJ Barrett, it might be a stretch to call him a star just yet, but the way he sort of attacks the basket, his body control getting to the rim, the way he's been playing for the Toronto Raptors, it's really the only way we can sort of describe it. I mean, he just drives in the lane tonight against whoever the heck was guarding him from the Miami Heat again. There's some weaker wing defenders on Miami. Report came out today that Duncan Robinson is apparently untouchable for this group, which is a bit baffling to me. But, again, like, who's getting minutes out here? Kyle Lowry got some run. He might be assistant coach the way he's talking to Darko, Duncan, all these types of guys. RJ Barrett, it didn't matter who was stuck on him. He'd be able to drive the lane, get to his left, use that body control, take contact, get to the buckets, score through traffic, score through the lane. And it's just great to see, our star players and Scotty and RJ and our top dudes be able to get easy buckets, because guys like Fred, guys like Siakam, again, love these players. OG Anunoby, the players we've been watching over the past 2-3 seasons, they are really good at basketball, but frankly, they never really got a lot of easy shots. Siakam would have to sort of post up for a long stretch of time in order to get his buckets. OG Anunoby would be sort of taking these weird drives. Again, open threes are going to work. Fred VanVleet's taking a lot of step backs, deep contested threes. I mean, to have players that can just get you easy shots when you need it, get to the free throw line when you need it, drive in. And the thing that's really impressed me most with RJ Barrett has been his ability to not only score, because we kind of knew that was the case. We knew Knicks fans talked about this sort of stuff, but his ability to facilitate for others. I mean, how many assists did he have in this game? RJ Barrett in this one, 3 assists, but more sort of passes that just create for the open shots for players. I mean, this Raptors team has a really insane young core. Now, without Gary Trent Jr. is 8 for 9 from the three-point line, which we can't expect on any given night. Again, a couple nights ago, we saw the Toronto Raptors just have an abysmal night shooting the three, and tonight's 52% from behind the three-point line. Are we going to expect that on a night-in, night-out basis? No. But if we're getting our star players doing this, and we build out our bench to be something more consistent, develop some pieces, so things sort of make more sense, I mean, I believe in this Toronto Raptors core. I believe in this group. Does that mean we're going to win a championship this season? No, but it does mean we have things to be excited about for the future, and hopefully we don't have to go through an ugly rebuild. We have the draft picks. We have other teams. Just draft well late in the first round, then Masai Ujiri, everything is all good. And really the last thing I really want to discuss in this one, because he played early, didn't do much, down the stretch after his initial stint in the game, but Grady Dick, 12 minutes of action, 2 field goals. Again, the 3-point shot, to see him knock down a couple, be confident, hit his 2 looks, that is a great thing to see. But the 4 assists out there in just 12 minutes of action are the things that impressed me most with Grady. Again, a couple turnovers, a couple bad decisions, but he isn't just a shooter. He's long, he's wiry. He's not going to be, a defensive stopper by any means, like OG Anunoby or something like that, but he holds his own. He does the little things out there on the court. So if the 3-point shot goes down and he can do those little things, those are going to be just put on to another level. So happy to see Grady Dick have a big game, because frankly, he's been taking a lot of trash. People have been talking about Masai Ujiri stockpiling draft picks. Well, if you're just going to draft players like Grady Dick, then what's the point? No, Masai Ujiri is one of the best track records in the NBA in terms of draft selections, getting steals left, right, and center. I mean, Pascal Siakam was a steal in the late first round. Masai Ujiri knows how to draft, and hopefully Grady Dick, after a slow start to his NBA career, after this new sort of fitness regime, and my speculation that deals were going to go down following the Grady Dick sort of, rehabilitation, sort of, getting him in game shape, the stint with the G League and stuff. I think that was kind of correct in that assumption that they were waiting for a trade to come down, and now he has his opportunities. And in, 12 minutes of action, played really good for the Toronto Raptors. So hopefully things continue. Schroeder was solid off the bench again tonight. 9 points, 6 assists. Just an overall awesome game for the Toronto Raptors to enter this new sort of era in Raptors basketball. 17-9 for Manu quickly. Also did a good job, man in the point for this Raptors group. Frankly, I'm pumped. I'm hopeful that this is sort of momentum we'll be able to carry forward. Again, the team has looked good since the OG Anunoby trade, but the vibes have definitely been off over the past few games, knowing that Pascal Siakam was going to get dealt. You could see it on the players' faces out there on the basketball court. They knew a trade was coming. They knew their top guy was going to get dealt, and things just sort of translated. Not to pouty play, not to anything horrible, but just a little bit of lethargy that you could feel out there just watching the game as a fan. But let me know what you guys think about this Toronto Raptors win. Again, are we overreacting this? Probably not, but the Raptors have some encouraging things to look forward to, despite the fact, and in the immediate future, not the draft picks and the future pieces and stuff. I'm pretty pumped. Let me know what you guys think. I'm signing out. Cheers.